$8 million should be enough to retire on, but can it pay you every single month and still be worth more 5 years from now than it is today? That's a different question. And the answer changes everything about how we build this portfolio. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what happens when you take $8 million and build a 7-holding dividend portfolio from scratch. We'll look at why the savings account is the wrong move, how every holding gets picked, and why. We'll see what the portfolio pays from month 1 of retirement and what happens if you reinvest instead of spending. And by the end, you'll see how this portfolio could grow to over $14 million, paying over $24,000 every single month. But first, let's set the stage for what we're trying to do here. Imagine having $8 million, and for the first time, it's not about how to make more, it's about what this money can actually do starting now. The goal isn't complicated. Retire and live well. Travel, eat well, enjoy the years that were worked for. But spending down $8 million with nothing growing behind it is how big numbers become small numbers over 10 or 20 years. So we set 2 goals that most people think are opposites. Pull real income from this portfolio every single month, enough to fund the retirement you actually want, and keep the portfolio itself worth more in coming years than it is today. Not less, not the same, more. Income now, growth forever. That's what we're trying to build. But both of those goals have enemies. Because at $8 million, the game changes completely. The strategies that build this kind of wealth, saving aggressively, living below your means, maxing out a 401k, those were the rules of accumulation. Retirement is a different game entirely, and it has 3 enemies that could destroy everything if they get ignored. Enemy number 1, inflation. Right now, the US inflation rate sits at 2.4% according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. That number sounds harmless, but compounded over 25 years of retirement, the purchasing power of that income gets cut nearly in half. That $20,000 monthly income that feels comfortable today, it buys a $12,000 lifestyle 25 years from now. Inflation doesn't announce itself. It just shows up every single year and takes its cut. Enemy number 2, sequence of returns risk. This one is brutal. The name sounds complicated. It's not. It just means a market crash hurts a lot more at the start of retirement than in the middle or the end. If your portfolio drops 30% in year 1 and money is being pulled out every month to live on, that's spending down a much smaller balance. Even when the market recovers, there are fewer shares left. The recovery happens, but most of it gets missed. Enemy number 3, tax drag. At this income level, dividends and capital gains don't come free. The IRS takes a cut of every dollar the portfolio produces. Without a tax-efficient structure, a significant chunk of that income disappears before it ever gets spent. 3 enemies, and we need a solution that handles all 3. One that grows the income, compounds the wealth, and doesn't hand more to the tax man than it has to. So what's the first instinct? The same one most people would have. A high-yield savings account. And on the surface, it doesn't look crazy. Right now, the best high-yield savings accounts are offering up to 4% to 5% APY. Run the numbers, $8 million at 4.5%, that's $360,000 a year. $30,000 a month, sitting in a bank account, fully liquid, 0 risk. That number looks pretty good. Then we look at history. According to the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, the national average savings account rate right now is just 0.39%. Not 4%, not 5%. 39 cents on every $100. The high rates today only exist because the Federal Reserve aggressively hiked interest rates to fight inflation. The Fed already cut rates 3 times in the second half of 2025 alone, and every time the Fed cuts, savings rates follow. That $30,000 a month today could become $16,000 a month tomorrow without a single thing changing. And that's just the first problem. There's 0 growth. The $8 million deposited today is the same $8 million sitting there 10 years from now. No appreciation, no compounding, no income growth, just a flat number losing ground to inflation every single year, and every dollar of interest is fully taxable as ordinary income. The picture is clear. The savings account gives income today, but nothing that grows. That's exactly the opposite of what we set out to build. So the savings account isn't the answer. We need something that grows instead of just sitting still. Next, I'll show you how this gets solved with a selection of dividend stocks. And in the end, I'll show you how this portfolio could grow to over $14 million, paying over $24,000 every single month. Before any of that happens, we need a portfolio. Let's build it. Every holding needs to do one of 2 jobs: pay income now or grow over time. Ideally both. 7 holdings, each one chosen for a specific reason. Here's exactly how the $8 million gets deployed. The first decision is the anchor. 35%, $2,800,000, goes into SCHD, the Schwab US Dividend Equity ETF. It gets the largest allocation because SCHD does 2 things simultaneously. It pays a current dividend yield of 3.39%, and it grows that dividend at 10.61% per year over the last decade. This ETF is the definition of income and growth combined at scale. This is the foundation. The second decision is just as big. Another 35% goes into VOO, the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF. The yield is lower at 1.15%, but the share price appreciation of 12.48% annually is what earns the equal weighting. A portfolio that only generates income without also growing in value is just a slow drain. VOO is the long-term wealth protection play. That's 70% deployed. 2 holdings, 1 for income growth, 1 for price appreciation. Now, the rest gets filled in. Individual stocks, each capped between 5% and 10% to limit single stock risk. First up, Procter & Gamble. PG gets 10%, the largest individual stock allocation, for one reason: reliability. Over 60 consecutive years of dividend increases, a 2.79% yield. In retirement, the last thing anyone needs is a holding that cuts its dividend. PG isn't exciting. It's not supposed to be. It's the holding that never gives you a reason to worry. Next, Microsoft, MSFT, 5%. The yield is just 0.91%, but the 10-year dividend growth rate of 10.01% and share price appreciation of 21.93% annually make it the highest growth potential holding in the entire portfolio. AbbVie gets 5%. ABBV earns its spot with a 3.15% yield and a dividend growth rate of 12.22% over the last decade. Healthcare is one of the most defensive sectors in any retirement portfolio. People need medicine regardless of what the market is doing. Consolidated Edison gets 5%. ED, a utility company with a 3.09% yield. Utilities are rate-regulated businesses. Their revenue is predictable. Their dividends are stable. And the final 5% goes into T. Rowe Price, TROW, the highest yielder in the portfolio at 5.88% with a 10-year dividend growth rate of 9.3%. As a financial services company, it benefits directly from growing assets under management, which means the more the market grows, the better T. Rowe performs. 7 holdings, each one pulling its weight. Blended all together, and the portfolio carries a weighted dividend yield of 2.52% and a blended dividend growth rate of 8.02% per year, meaning the income it generates isn't static, it climbs every single year. And on top of that, the portfolio would grow an average of 10.09% every year. Now, there are 2 ways to go about this. The first is drip off. Retire today, take the income from month 1 and spend it. This is for anyone ready to enjoy retirement right now. The second is drip on. Every dividend gets reinvested back into the portfolio and compounds. This is for anyone who can afford to wait a year, 2, or even 5 before pulling income. Let's start with retiring today. In year 1, the portfolio would generate $201,560 in annual dividend income. That works out to $16,797 every single month. Retirement starts, and the income starts flowing. But here's what most people don't expect. Even with every dollar of income being pulled out, the portfolio doesn't shrink. It grows. By year 2, the annual dividend income would grow to $217,310. That's $18,109 every month. By year 3, it would climb to $234,290, $19,524 a month. By year 4, it would reach $252,597, over 21 grand landing every single month. And by year 5, the portfolio would be paying $272,334 a year, or $22,694 every single month, without a single dollar ever being reinvested. That happens because the portfolio is growing in 2 ways at once. The share prices are going up, that's appreciation, and the dividends themselves are getting bigger every year, that's dividend growth. The dividends are being spent, but the shares keep climbing in value and keep paying more. The portfolio value follows the same curve. Price appreciation alone would push it from $8 million at the start to $8,806,880 after year 1. By year 3, it would cross $10 million, and by year 5, it would stand at $12,934,524. Remember the two goals at the start: real income every single month, enough to actually enjoy retirement, and a portfolio that's worth more in 5 years, not less. With Drip Off, the income is $22,694 every single month, and the portfolio has grown from $8 million to nearly $13 million. Both goals met. But what if you don't need income right away? What if waiting a year or 2 or 5 before spending is an option? That changes everything. This is Drip On. Every dividend goes back into the portfolio. More shares, more dividends, more compounding. The longer the wait, the bigger the number at the end. Year 1. The portfolio generates the same $201,560 or $16,797 a month. But instead of spending it, every dollar gets reinvested. By the end of year 1, the portfolio would stand at just over $9 million. By year 2, the annual dividend income would grow to over $222,000. That's $18,500 every month if spending starts here. The portfolio would sit at over $10,100,000. By year 3, it would climb to $245,000, $20,400 a month. Portfolio value, $11,406,000. By year 5, it would reach $269,968, $22,497 every single month. Portfolio value, $12,827,466. And by year 5, the portfolio would be generating $297,320 a year, or $24,777 every single month. The portfolio would sit at $14,418,565. Compare that to Drip Off at year 5, $22,694 a month and $12,934,524. Drip On pays $2,082 more every single month, and the portfolio is worth $1,484,041 more, from the exact same starting point. Not everyone starts at $8 million. Most people don't. But the mechanics are the same: dividend growth, reinvestment, compounding, doing the work year after year. If you want to see what that looks like, starting from just $25 a week into Fidelity index funds and how it grows to over $4,800 a month, that video is on screen right now.